Oh, okay, Nightmare Alley. Let me try this one. Let me see. Let me try a different voice. Let me see which one will work for this. Oh, it's based on a. Just so before I get into my description, this is based on a book. I know you love me when I say that. It's also a remake. I didn't know this was a remake of a movie from 1947 that had Tyrone Power in it.
Really?
So I'm gonna go back and watch that one.
Let's go back and pull that one up.
An ambitious.
Let me try. Okay, I like that one.
An ambitious carny with a talent for manipulating people with few well-chosen words hooks up with a female psychiatrist who's even more dangerous than he is. And this is Nightmare Alley, 2021.
All right, I don't know what that voice was, but
okay.
Guillermo del Toro wrote and directed this. Well, he wasn't. He was one of the writers. I think there were like 4 or 5 writers, but anyway.
Yeah, and he directed it.
Yeah.
It looked great.
Oh,
let's put
it had that look. It had his look.
Guillermo del Toro just cannot make a bad looking film.
Nope. Well, I don't know. What about his early stuff? I haven't seen most of his early stuff.
But I had a problem. What did I have a problem with? It seemed like a small story, you know, that was trying. He kept heaping things onto it to make it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And here's the problem. The problem is that I knew from the moment that they introduced us to one of the characters that he was going to wind up being that character. That there's just no way that he could, there's no reason for him to introduce that character to us if he wasn't going to become it, right?
Well, why is that a problem? They do that in horror movies. Hey, they'll bring the guy in that you know is going to die in 10 seconds.
I know. It's like it was a Star Trek, and the guy was wearing a red outfit.
Well, I think this. So I thought the story was simple. I agree with that, but I think part of it was like I want to feel like he was trying to develop characters more because I feel like I cared more about the Bradley Cooper. What was his name? Somebody Carlisle. Anyway, yeah. Stanton Carlisle. But I felt like I cared more about him than I did about Bruce. You know, about the last movie we did, Army of Darkness. Right. Like I didn't really care about anybody. But this one, I feel like he was doing more character development. It was a very simple story. I mean, it was just like a carny who's like manipulating people, making money off of them, and then he meets somebody that you know is going to be.
And everything gets bigger and yeah.
But I kind of liked how it developed, and I don't think I really loved it, the story wise, but I loved how it looked, and I loved how the characters were developed, and I mean I liked a lot of stuff about it, but I guess I feel the same way about like you do. It's like I feel like it was a little too simple for Guillermo del Toro. There's no twist. There's no really big twist in there.
Yeah, there's no big twist. I kind of knew exactly where it was going, and it like didn't ever break out of like kind of this particular mold, you know?
Well, there were points where you wanted there to be a twist. Like they came to visit him in a hotel room and I was waiting for something to happen. They could have, you know.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. Here's what I kept thinking. This is The Sting to a certain extent. It's sort of like it's sort of like a karma. Yeah. Figure yourself out, would you? Yeah.
Okay, that's better.
It's sort of like the Sting, but even the Sting had that kind of initial problem of it didn't have the essential double cross in it, right?
Right.
And that was the thing that bothered me about this is it was straightforward and there was so many opportunities for it to be derailed or to like have something happen that wasn't apparent. I guess that's what it was. Is like if you saw something like you know, like a double cross film, and there's an underlying theme in it that you don't see, right? I kept expecting to see
like you're surprised. You have to be surprised about something.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I kept expecting that to come along.
And this is a film noir, or they're trying to be film noir, but
right.
It's not quite there.
There wasn't that undercurrent of things happening that you don't know about, right? It's like it was all super hyper apparent and it's right there. You know, and you saw everybody that was double crossing everybody. It was right. It was sort of like watching me. It was sort of like watching Penn and Teller explain a magic trick, right?
Well, and then the big double cross, you knew it was going to happen, so it was like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. And you said, oh yeah, well,
there we go. And then you knew the other guy, that you knew what he was going to do to the guy, the other guy doing that thing to the guy, then the girl doing that thing and doing, you know.
And then as soon as he like gets on the train and all the rest of that, you're like, oh well, he's headed for the thing with the thing.
Yeah, and the girl's going to the thing again to see the thing, the people, the things,
like,
you know.
It's mighty Zelda or Zora or whatever, and you're like, oh my god, this is exactly on the surface. This is exactly what it is, and there is no, underlying.
This feels like an average movie for Guillermo del Toro. Like, look at Shape of Water compared to this one. Which, by the way, I think some of the sets look very familiar. Like they were like the ones they used in Shape of Water, like the hallways, the green hallways, and
I can see that. It's
But I think it's going to be, I don't know why, but I think it will be nominated probably for a couple Oscars, maybe set design.
Yeah, and here's the thing. The thing is it comes down to this: is like he is a brilliant production designer, and the thing is that production design in this case is like the most interesting element.
Exactly, yeah. Well, I mean, costuming maybe. I mean, I don't know. I thought Bradley Cooper did a pretty good job though with his with what he had to work with.
Yeah, the scene with her. There was like there was a scene with her in front of the electrical thing.
Yes, yep. That was awesome. Yeah.
And that was awesome. Yes.
Well, the scene where he finds out he's going to be the thing, or they want to hire him to be the thing.
Right.
That was a great response. I mean, I thought that his performance was good. It kind of carried me through the boring story.
I thought that the whole part. It's funny because there was a scene later on, all the way back, where she goes, and she started to talk about like that being shocked in that one machine, right?
Yeah.
She started to talk about that, and I go, yeah, I'd like to go back and see that scene again too, because that was more interesting.
No, totally.
That's absolutely what I was thinking. I was thinking, oh yeah, well, yeah, that was good.
Actually, it's interesting. You got me thinking about that character, because as soon as she was kind of out of the storyline, it got kind of boring for me. Like all of a sudden you're replacing this interesting person from the circus with the other person. That's just an evil person.
Right. Yeah. Essentially,
like I feel like she should have been more part of the story. Like maybe trying to save him. Like, hey, let me help you. I don't know. Yeah. Once it got away from the circus, it just got too linear and too just straight ahead. And the thing is they had a lot of stuff going on. It's just that they decided to tell you what it all was and not to like putting any subplot into there. Did you also notice that is all of a sudden like any little tiny subplot between people and stuff just kind of disappeared.
It was just straight ahead, and they went right
like all the characters in the beginning. They were all forgotten about.
Yeah,
but they came back for a visit. I mean, but okay.
Right, it kind of made you wonder why didn't he make it back to that same place? It was just an odd film. And
I feel like they could have done more with that thing in the jar. Like, I don't know. I thought that was going to be an interesting plot point, but it wasn't. It was just a prop.
There were no interesting. And
hey, we got this prop. We're just going to use it. I don't know how we're going to use it, but we're going to use it.
The thing is they were trying something completely new. They weren't going to use anything for a plot point.
Well, you like creepy things in jars. I mean, I think they could have used it more to their advantage.
Hello. Oh God, have I put things in a jar?
But I was thinking of when I saw that thing in the jar, I started thinking about Pan's Labyrinth, and I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for something really weird to happen, but
it
never happened.
It's the strangest. It was so weird. It's like there was so many, especially when we were in the circus. It could have taken you anywhere. Right?
Yeah.
You could have gone to any place and you could have believed that it was still in that circus somewhere. And yet it just stayed kind of tame and You know, it literally is a film that the finance elements in it had to do with the production design and didn't go any further. I like that. We agreed again. That's. I mean, I don't think that it was bad.
I don't think it was bad. I just think for him, it was, or for this whole. Well, I'm sure he hires a lot of the same people, but I'm sure. I mean, with his efforts, I think this was average for him. Yeah. For Guillermo del Toro to write and direct something.
I want to say because
does he have too many people involved? Is that the question? Like, because I know there are a lot of writers listed on this. I don't know if that's normal for him, but I know nowadays there's usually 4 writers on something. But it's like,
yeah, but you know what's the director that grabs it and makes it what it is, you know? And I think that writing is definitely a problem. Definitely a problem on it. I mean, there needed to be some intersecting subplots.
Yes, and there needs to be a red herring. I don't think there even was a red herring in this one that I can think of. I mean, something that was like, I was going to go one direction, and they'd be like, oh my gosh, that never happened.
There was a carp, there was a carp there somewhere, but it was floundering.
So yeah, I'd like to go back and redo this one. Like, maybe send me the script. I'll rewrite it like a 1950s detective movie.
I'll film it myself. So I'm going to give it a 2.8 because I figured 2.5 is the middle, and the production design was definitely above par. But yeah, as far as a film,
yeah, I'm gonna give it the same. I'm just gonna give it the same score because
yeah, such a simple version of such a.
But I'm gonna be annoyed if I see it like nominated for you know, I mean maybe best acting possibly, I don't know, but
yeah, I don't know how it could get, you know,
maybe at least nominated for something, but
yeah.
But if it's just production design, that makes sense. But if anything else, I'll be surprised by. Because there wasn't any like even mind blowing sound design or any like great costuming or anything I could think of. I mean, when you do period, it was kind of a period thing. You can't really do any cool costumes. Even with the circus, there wasn't really anything interesting.
Yeah, it was. The
more I talk about it, the more I want to bring it down to 2.5.
It was what it was. Stop thinking about it.
I don't know why I keep smoking and why is everybody looking at my butt right now?
Yeah. Are you okay?
I think so, but smoke keeps coming out of me.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, this is that one that I tried to use for my background for that Don't Look Up. It's when the day the sky exploded.
Yeah. So this is great. So I'm expecting a phone call from a producer today, and it's not a producer it's like an executive producer to a film that I'm already working on, right? And all of a sudden, so I'm waiting for this phone call, and I pick it up, and it's somebody that I know. And I go, oh, well, hey, Jerry, what's happening? And and he goes, and he starts to describe problems that he's having on this film. And I was like, wait a minute, were you supposed to call me? And he goes, what do you mean supposed to call you? And I go, well, aren't you talking about the such and such a film? And he goes, no. He says, this is the first time I've called you about this. And I go, oh. And he describes this whole, whole problem that they're having with trying to manipulate, how they're going to manipulate a bunch of buildings and stuff that they found for a film in Kentucky, of all places. And I was like, oh, wow. He says, yeah, he says, I really need you on this film. And so we just set a deal, and that was it.
Wow.
So when I got to go to Canada and finish up the one that I'm working on right now, and then come back and then I'll be working in Kentucky.
Nice.
Yeah. Right. Hey, see, you'll be able to drive up there.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you need anybody.
You can help me. You can help me take a Western town, you know, and make it look like an actual Western town.
Oh, okay. Well, that should be easy for you, right?
Well, I mean, what we have the Kentucky tourist version of a Western town. And we have to make it look like an actual.
I got the key for you right here. One word. Tumbleweeds.
Yeah, and they ain't none of them out here, I tell you that.
No, actually, I'm regretting I didn't start that business I was going to start when I was in Kennewick. I was going to turn the whole backyard into a tumbleweed farm and just sell them online.
Well, you should have.
I actually found somebody online that sells them.
Yeah, well, give me that number.
And they actually were promoting the fact that they sell to film productions and stuff, by the way. So I was joking about it. I'm like, I'll just Google it. And I found a company that sells them. I'm like, wow. They even paint them. And
anybody coming out to the set from LA has to bring a tumbleweed with them.
Oh, wow. But yeah, no, LA tumbleweeds are too expensive. You need to get them from the Tri-Cities.
Yeah, well, that's true. And the pressure.
That's right.
More water. Okay, so that's it.
That's it in a nutshell.